Alright, what's going on, guys? Beastars, Chapter 185 review. Let's get right into it. And this chapter is titled, Reclaiming the Prince from the Electrical Tower. So the battle is continuing between Legosi and Melon, and right from the start, Legosi just gashes Melon right across the chest, with both of his hands just digging his claws right into him. I mean, just absolutely brutal. Blood is spraying everywhere, and you would think that Melon would be very scared by this notion, but in fact, he's embracing it. He's like, very good, Legosi. Let's have us a battle here. So Melon is actually, he wants the battle to rage on. He wants the conflict. He doesn't want an easy opponent. He wants someone that is worthy of him. So kind of like the Joker in a lot of ways. I know I mentioned this numerous times in my past reviews, but he wants someone who's gonna give him the challenge, who's gonna step up to the plate. Now, while this is all happening, we pan over to the Shishigumi Lions, and it looks like they've taken Kyuu hostage. So in the previous chapters, I was wondering, well, what's gonna happen with Kyuu? Is she gonna come in and save the day? We know she's a martial artist and a badass, but no, it looks like the Shishigumi Lions acted proactively here, and they took Kyuu for themselves to sort of keep Legosi at bay and to put him in a state of concern for his friend. But unfortunately, because Melon is engaging Legosi doesn't have time to look over and see that Kyuu is in fact in a state where she is helpless. So it didn't really work out too well for the Shishigumi Lions. I wonder if they could just yell at Legosi, be like, hey, Legosi, look over here. But I guess that's just too much thought. I guess it's just too much work to do that. So in the meantime, they're like, well, we captured the rabbit. No need to let her go to waste. Let's just snack on her. Let's eat her like a bowl of popcorn. And this sort of moment makes them realize that, hey, you know, when Lewis was our boss, we kind of thought that we were reforming in a way. We thought we were turning into good lions. Despite the fact that we engage in the black market alley and we're gangsters, we kind of thought that we were transforming ourselves for the better. But it turns out that they were still carnivorous lions at the end of the day, and all they could really think about was eating a helpless rabbit. What we thought was a helpless rabbit, because all they really did to Kyuu was tie her hands behind her back, and as we know, she's very adept at using her legs in very aggressive and combative ways, and she turns out to escape from the situation, and she pulls her hands out of the rope. So I guess they didn't even tie her hands very well. So, you know, as scary as these lions are, they turn out to be rather incompetent in a lot of ways. I guess if they don't have their boss present, they're just sort of helpless and they're sort of incompetent. So they're chasing after Kyuu, and as Kyuu is making a mad dash through the black market alley, she comes across a large television in, like, you know, in the square. And while she's looking at the television, Lewis is giving his speech about looking at the black market alley and what's going on there. Now, while he's doing this, various guards and various security are trying to pull him away from the podium. They don't want him to utter those words. They want to sort of keep up the curtain that has sort of stabilized the animal society. But Lewis wants to pull down the curtain. He wants to be like, look, we cannot ignore the truth any longer. We have to accept reality for what it is. That's the only way for us to come closer together as a society. But, you know, of course, they don't want to accept that. So they take him away from the podium and they lock him into a room. And while he's locked in this room and he's kind of threatening his various bodyguards by saying, hey, you know, if you don't let me out of here, I'm not going to pay you guys. I'm going to take all your money from your bank accounts. I'm going to freeze them. Just then, Kyuu and the Shishigumi Lions bust through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, and they take back their old boss, and they're gonna go back to the black market alley. So, wow, this is really setting up an interesting situation because you still got Legosi and Melon fighting during this time. And it must be a long fight because for the very reason that the Shishigumi Lions had the time to chase Kyuu through the Black Market Alley, and then they drove over to the Horns Conglomerate, retrieved Lewis, and now they're going to go back to the Black Market Alley, means that this battle in the meantime is really prolonged. Now, are we going to see all the details to that fight? I doubt it. I'm sure they're probably going to truncate a lot of it and expedite it in a way that sort of accelerates the events. So now we got a fight going on. Yafia and Gosha are trying to make their way there. The Shishigumi Lions and Louis are trying to make their way there. Kyuu's trying to make her way there. So it's going to be very interesting. Who will make it there first? What do you guys think? Logic would dictate that Yafia and Gosha would, since they're already there, but who knows? Yafia has proven to be rather incompetent in some ways. He's kind of got that I don't give a crap attitude, so who knows? But Gosha is definitely very propelled to help out his grandson. And it's going to be very interesting. The battle between Legosi and Melon is definitely taking a turn for the dark side. It's getting very bloody, and despite who wins, I feel like both of them are going to end up in the hospital, and maybe one of them might even die, so who knows? But very exciting chapter. It seems like almost all of the events are converging now into one homogeneous conclusion. So everything's gonna collide, and we'll just have to see how the dust settles. But yeah, I think that's all I really gotta say for this chapter. Hey, if you're looking for a humorous Beastars tier list video, I recorded that yesterday and I released it this morning, where I basically just riff extemporaneously for over an hour, and I complained a lot too. I'm sure some of you have already seen it. It's an absolute work of art if you haven't, so go check that out. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll catch you next week.